Today's episode is all about dogs, community, and the people who show up for both. Today, I'm joined by the teams for Central Bark New Berlin and JR's Pups-N-Stuff, two organizations doing incredible work to support dogs at every stage of life. And from enrichment-based dog care to rescue, rehabilitation, and rehoming, this conversation highlights what happens when passion, compassion, and community sort of come together as one. So we're going to talk about what makes Central Bark stand out, the realities of rescue work, and the impact of things like the Giving Tree Drive and the stories that sort of remind us why this work matters so much. So let's jump in. We're going to go ahead and, if you guys don't mind, introduce yourselves. We'll start with our call-in guest. If you can introduce yourself, the organization you represent, and then maybe if you're okay with it, we'd love to know a little bit about your own little furry family and what kind of pets you have at home and how they came into your life.
Hey, my name is Jean Roten, and I'm with JR's Pups-N-Stuff. I actually founded the organization back in 2007, so I have a very tight connection to this group. Uh, I do have several furry friends at home, five dogs. Um, they range in age from 1 year old to 13 years old. They are all either Rottweiler or Rottweiler mixes because that is my favorite breed in life. I am definitely a Rottie diehard lover. I fell in love with one in about 2008, and it's been downhill since there. They're my favorite breed to rescue and own. So all of them came to me through the rescue. Um, and actually, at this point in time, four out of my five came to me as puppies at various points in time throughout rescue. Um, I have Darius, Rucker, Hootie, Ruger, and Maggie May. I also have two cats that also came to me through the rescue. Um, Dylan, who is a cross-eyed Siamese mix,
hmm
and Prada, who is just a beautiful domestic mix tabby, and they definitely keep us hopping.
Is it fair to assume that all of your animals are named after some kind of music reference or musician? Obviously, I heard Darius and Rucker. I heard Maggie May. Is that a reference to Rod Stewart? And Dylan, is that a reference to Bob Dylan?
Actually, we used to have a cat named Miss Kitty, and we had Marshall Dillon and Miss Kitty.
Aha,
So it was actually Gunsmoke.
nice.
Ruger, he's been around for 12 and a half years, and he actually was the first one of my guns. I've also had a Timber, a Beretta, a Benelli, a Smith, a Wesson. Um, so, um, but they're all rescues, and so they come to me at different points in life, and so they don't always last. Maggie May came with that name, and we fostered her for almost a year, and we weren't gonna change her name at that point in time.
I think
And I
my
used to have a Mick and a Jagger, so yeah, I mean, they usually have a theme. But you didn't get the Hootie thing, the Darius Rucker Hootie?
yeah,
Hootie and the Blowfish?
yep.
Yeah,
I think
because Hootie was Darius Rucker, and
right.
he is Darius Rucker, one and the same.
I think my favorite part of this is that you made a Gunsmoke reference, and I think there's going to be a small section of the audience that it's like, oh yeah, I used to watch that show when I was growing up, and another section is going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Mhm.
it's
It
great.
A lot of them won't, yes. A lot of them won't know who Mick Jagger is either, though, that's
And they should. Um,
they should.
Gene, thanks for joining us, and we'll certainly get into more about the rescue in just a few moments. But I've got two other ladies here. I'd like to introduce themselves. They're part of the Central Bark organization. So, ladies, however you want to take turns, please fire away.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I've been a part of the Central Bark team for about 14 years now. Um, I'm the district manager, and I oversee the Central Bark New Berlin, Franklin, and Madison stores. New Berlin is very near and dear to my heart, though, because that's the store I started off at as a dog handler. And I've got 3 cats at home, which people always laugh at 'cause they're like, "You manage doggy daycare, so then you've got cats at home." But the first cat that I got, I did catch her from outside, so, she is not a big fan of dogs. Um, Neither are the other 2 cats. So, as of right now, we're just a cat family, but I definitely want to get my own dogs someday in the near future.
And then I'm Alyssa. I have been working at Central Park for close to 9 years. I started off as a dog handler and moved my way up to store manager. I have two dogs of my own. They are both rescued. One is named Mindy, and she is a pit bull chow mix, and the other is Ramsey, who is a Chihuahua Terrier mix. They both come to work with me quite often, and I love having them with me.
I'm jealous because I say, sort of jokingly every day should be bring your dog or bring your pet to work day. And I feel really jealous that you, Alyssa, get I mean, I'm going to live vicariously through you with bringing your animal to work day.
It's
But,
pretty fun.
um, and I'll throw this out to all three of you. And I know that you kind of, in a sense, answered this a little bit, Gene, but do your do your own pets shape how you approach working with dogs or animals on a daily basis?
Definitely, definitely. Well, and keep in mind, the rescue and the work that I do for the rescue is as a volunteer, even though I founded and have been running this. I do have a full-time job doing IT project management, in the financial services industry. So I do that in addition, and my dogs are usually laying at my feet in my office with me all day, every day. The cats come in and they like to throw things around in my, off my desk and bat things. So they are a big part of my day-to-day work, in addition to the rescue. And I've met them all that way. And the dogs that I seek out and working with the animals, we all kind of have our type. And you fall in love with who you fall in love with, and so, yeah, it shapes everything. I mean, it's like my life focuses pretty much around them, and they help me just feel complete about what I'm doing, and I see the life that they have now, and it makes it all worthwhile.
That's great. And Alyssa and Megan, anything from you as far as do your animals shape how you work with animals every day, specifically dogs?
I feel like, um, yeah, definitely the animals mine at home, I want the animals that are in our care to be treated just as I would treat my own at
That's
home.
a good one.
So yeah, we try to treat every dog that's here, like it's family and a part of our own family. And yeah, so I feel like that definitely having our own pets kind of shapes how we care for the dogs here in our care.
So, moving into sort of my first question officially, Central Bark, New Berlin is the New Berlin Business of the Month. So, every month, or at least almost every month, the city of New Berlin tries to find a business or organization to feature as Business or Organization of the Month, and just to sort of showcase the work that they do as an organization or business. Um, Partnering with other organizations in the community or the surrounding community. So um, I was really, really excited that you guys were the January Business of the Month. And we have this table at City Hall that you guys set up and gave us some stuff. And it's been very, very popular. There's been a lot of traffic in City Hall. And like when people come in to renew their licenses, I'll say, hey, since you have a dog or an animal, check out the table by the front door. And lots of people have just really loved the swag and the information and the great stuff. But one thing specifically is you guys had some, I think they're called Crunchy O's treats, little treat bags, and you gave me a bag full of those things filled to the brim, and they're completely gone. And a day hasn't gone by where someone hasn't come up and said, "Hey, uh, those were great. My dog really loved them. Where can I get some more?" So, do you guys sell those here at Central Bark?
We do. They're definitely a fan favorite here. What's great about those, they're the From Crunchy O's. They're a great price point. They're only $6.99 a bag. They're also low calorie and they come in a bunch of different flavors. There's blueberry, cheese, peanut butter, pumpkin, salmon, so lots to choose from.
And so, for listeners who may not be familiar with uh, this business or this organization, how would you describe Central Bark to someone who's just casually listening for the first time and wondering what it is that you guys do?
I think I would describe it as kind of dog's paradise, one-stop shop for dog owners. So we have daycare, we have boarding, grooming, training. We have our retail area as well. And our New Berlin location also has a canine cab where we can pick up the dogs and drop them off from daycare. So yeah, we like to be just a one-stop shop so dog owners can come and get everything done.
Shout out to Smokey, the cutest dog ever. When you guys brought her into City Hall, and she was like, "Yes,
We love Smokey.
this is where I was born to be." So photogenic. Um, so aside from that, is and obviously anyone can visit your website or follow you on social media, which I encourage people do because you guys have a great social media presence.
That's all Alyssa. She does great with our social media.
People love dogs, obviously, and every day I see the stuff come by the news feed, and I'm like, oh, this is the most wholesome stuff ever, and we need it. Trust me. Um, what do you feel makes Central Bark sort of different or stand out compared to other dog daycares or boarding facilities that maybe you want to touch upon?
Sure. I feel like what makes Central Bark different is just all of our policies to ensure safety. So we have enrichment doggy daycare, and what that means is we do small group play. So the dogs that are going into play groups here are in group with anywhere from 12 to 15 dogs at max. That way we can monitor their behavior better. We can work with them on small group play. They get less overstimulated. And overall, we can just give them more individualized attention. So I think that that really helps with safety. Also, we do require that all the dogs go through a behavior assessment if they're here. And then for daycare, we do have a once a week enrollment policy just so we can stay current on the dog's behavior and they know us and we know them. And we can also better predict their behavior when we know. Who their best friends are and
Hmm.
every dog is different. Every dog has their quirks. So, I just feel like all of the policies we have in place to promote safety and just the staff here as well, how much they love and care for the dogs, that definitely sets us apart. Alyssa, can you think of anything else?
Um, I feel like you covered it all.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask a follow up. Do you
Sorry.
and Alyssa, maybe you can take this answer. Do you notice or is there a significant change in dogs once they sort of become like part of the Central Bark pack or family once they start sort of getting ingrained in here?
Yes, I will say that. So the owners will even tell us that their dog knows what day of the week it is, and they start getting excited and look forward to coming to daycare that day of the week. Um, they'll turn in our parking lot and know where they are and get super excited. And, it's good for them to be on a schedule and a routine, which is nice. That's why we have our once a week enrollment policy. So they, get comfortable with us as well. Um, yeah, we notice, sometimes on a dog's first day, they might seem a little shy at first, but then coming consistently, they come out of their shell and really, blossom.
No, and that's great. And when I first started talking to you ladies about Central Bark and sort of how things go here, one of the things that you mentioned was the importance of partnering with organizations and giving back to the community. And so, Jean, we'll throw you back in here if you don't mind. Um, the ladies here mentioned that Central Bark has partnered with JR's Pups and Stuff for a very long time. So, can you share sort of the mission behind the organization and the kind of rescue work that you focus on at Pups and Stuff?
Yeah, we are we go by Jair's Pups and Stuff because the and stuff is anything that's not a dog. So we do have cats, rabbits, we've done guinea pigs, potbelly pigs, variety of different things. But our mission is basically to save animals from life-threatening situations. Any breed, mixed breed, we're not we're not particular, we're not focused on a particular breed.
Sure.
And we want to find them, they find us, and rehabilitate, get them the proper vetting, make sure that they're medically sound, work on training, behavior, socialization, um, and making sure that they're in good shape and finding their forever homes. So that's the high level of the mission. Um, we do that with partners like Central Bark, and they have been absolutely amazing to work with. I'm really impressed to hear of the longevity of both Megan and Alyssa because that's not common. It says a lot for Central Bark. When you hear that somebody has been there for 9 years, 14 years, that's impressive. It says a lot about their organization as well. Um, we have we met with them, oh, I think it was with Alan years ago, about a giving tree, and could we put up a giving tree? And, they welcomed us with open arms, and we started building this relationship with them, and we've had adoption events there, and I think we have one scheduled in about 3 weeks, 3, 4 weeks,
Mhm.
where we'll have an adoption event there, and they've got these amazing facilities, and their staff is always so incredibly supportive. We just they've been great. They set up the giving trees and we bring in the ornaments with a little wish list and they just facilitate all of that. And so working together and finding that community bond, a big part of what we want to do is be an advocate of the community. We want our dogs trained. One of the things in our adoption contract says that their dogs have to be trained. So, we recommend organizations like Central Park and the partnerships that we develop in saying, hey, take your dog here. Here's somebody who's really going to work with you on this or that. And, you know, um, we recommend people go to their puppy hour. It's just and the facility is always so impressive and so clean and everybody and it says a lot, so when you build that kind of a partnership where you go in feeling good and comfortable and happy and your adopters feel that way and it builds the community together and you know education is really important to us, and Central Bark has supported that in the training that they do and their policies and procedures about keeping the dogs vetted and social and the different things. And I just building those relationships, and I probably went way off on a tangent, but um and answered a lot more of your question than what you were really asking. But it really our mission is to get great homes for our dogs, and we are a best fit, not a first fit rescue. So, unlike some places where you go and you walk in and you fill out the application and you walk out with an animal, we go through a bit more of a process and we look for the best fit for that animal. And if there are 3 or 4 people who want that animal, we're going to see who the dog radiates to because they really look at that person. And again, doing that in a facility like Central Bark where the dogs are playing and interacting and people can bring in their dogs to meet with the other dogs. It's just been a great, great relationship and I've really enjoyed getting to know the people.
Well, certainly you don't have to apologize or anything as far as and going off on a tangent because some of the things that you answered are some of the questions that were I was going to ask going forward. But it's nice that you were able to respond to these things without having to be asked them. But you've been in this industry, or I'm sorry, that's the wrong word. You've been in this sort of this labor of love for a very long time. So I wanted to ask you, Gene, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face as an organization, as a rescue organization, right now?
Ooh, volunteers. We are primarily volunteer based. We do have a very small staff to help maintain some day to day things and allow us to keep some dogs on site because transports get very expensive. And those volunteers are critical. They are our lifeline. They do application processing and fostering and running events and fundraisers and just doing so much stuff for us. So volunteers, like I can't say enough about how very fortunate our rescue has been. COVID hit us hard and a lot of volunteers just never came back. There's a little bit of a different mindset. People changed a little bit.
Sure.
So, getting volunteers back engaged has been a real challenge. So that's probably my number one. And then, of course, number two struggle for any rescue is financial because we survive on donations. So, we don't have any government funding or anything like that. We just survive on the generosity of the public. So,
Um,
um, those kind of things,
it, it
those are probably the two biggest.
Sure. In that regard, because you mentioned before that this relationship sort of budded from the Giving Tree thing that you guys do, and right now, I know that that was sort of a holiday season type drive, and I asked if that was something that maybe we could continue through the end of January, because obviously we want to make sure that we can try to make we want to feature this organization and Central Park and the great things that they do, but also if we can try to make it something where people can help in any way that they can, um, we obviously want to do that. So, um, first of all, first question is, or I should say, we're running this now through the end of January. So we have a giving tree set up at this at City Hall, and I still think you guys have one here at Central Park.
Yes.
And so folks can still donate. They can come to City Hall. We have a list of the highest need things for pups and stuff, as well as on some of the ornaments. On the back of the ornaments, it says some of the things that are needed. Now, obviously, a great news is that a lot of these dogs have been adopted, so it's not necessarily for these dogs. But um, my first question is, why are drives like this so important to your organization, especially right now? And number two, um, setting aside that volunteers are sort of the lifeline of your organization, if the casual listener wanted to donate, whether it's some kind of item or food or monetary donation, where can they go to do that outside of coming to Central Park or even New Berlin City Hall?
Well, we do have a small office in Wauwatosa. We have a kennel building in Salem Lakes, Wisconsin, and we have many volunteers throughout the area who are more than willing to help out and pick up items for anybody who can't get someplace. Monetary donations, we have, you know, PayPal and Venmo and all, Give Butter and all these different, ways that people can make monetary donations. So there's a lot of different ways. You don't have to go to a particular place or anything if you can't make it to Central Park or City Hall. Our volunteers are pretty awesome and willing to even do pickups on things that people donate. You know, um, raised dog beds that for our kennel dogs are just I mean, they're bigger items, and a lot of times people have them, use them, and then go, "Gee, my dog just doesn't use that. I wonder if somebody else could." Yeah, we would love to. Those types of things are fantastic. The really hard chews that can keep the dogs that have to be in the kennels or crated in foster homes and stuff, keeping them busy, those are just fantastic donations. But then there's always the really boring stuff. We need bleach. we're always cleaning something,
Sure.
you know, laundry detergent, bleach, you know, or heck, come walk a dog. You know, they might you might think that that's a little thing, but we actually have a dog walking orientation, and these dogs that stay in the kennels in the interim, while they're looking for foster homes and looking for adoptive homes, those dogs love to go for a walk. They'd love to go to the park. They'd love to go get a pup cup with you. They'd love to just hang out with you. Maybe you can't foster, but you'd love to just come and hang out with a dog for a couple hours. Come on by. Come and play. We've got some play yards outside. We've got some dog parks that are close by. We'll bring dogs to Central Park. We're but yeah, so those are the kinds of things that people can do that, you know, they don't always think about that that one elk antler. You have probably just made a dog so happy for days, sometimes weeks, with that one elk antler that doesn't get destroyed quickly. Some of the treats and the little things that you can do, hard chew toys. We get a little nervous about like soft toys and stuff because other than the puppies, some of the big dogs will just ingest some of that stuff. But no matter how close you're trying to watch, but it's like it, there's just so many just little things that people can do. We have one school teacher actually in New Berlin, who does a little giving box each holiday season at her school. And the kids bring in a can of cat food, a can of dog food. And the kids are thrilled to death about doing this. And we are so grateful. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be 40 hours a week of spending time with dogs. Just come and spend an hour. You know, you're you're making the difference in the life of that animal.
I know that you don't have a lot of time left here with us, and so I just want to ask you a couple more questions before you have to go. Number one, what are some misconceptions that people have about a dog rescue? And then, what advice would you give to someone who's considering adopting a dog for maybe the first time, or an animal for the first time, I should say?
Well, the misconceptions are they think that a lot of people think that all we do is play with the dogs. And really, a lot more of what we do is deal with people. Yes, we play with the dogs and yes, the dogs get love and affection but there's a lot of cleaning, there's a lot of other things. And when somebody comes and says, "Hey, you know, I want to come and work for your rescue," and they're like, all we're doing is, we're going through rolls of paper towel and cleaning up this and cleaning up that. It's like, yeah, they're adorable, but they're messy. And so people have that misconception that all people in rescue do is just play with the animals. There's a lot of work involved. There's the training, there's going back and forth to the vet, there's the bathing, the cleaning, and Central Bark sees that all the time as well. So they know exactly what I'm talking about, and they're probably smiling at you right now going, "Yeah, that's a lot of work." It's
Oh, yeah.
it's not just fun and games. The other misconception is when people go, "Oh, you're just in it for the money."
Oh boy.
Yeah, we hear that. And, there is no money in rescue. And if you're doing rescue the way that you're supposed to be doing rescue, where you're taking these animals that need you and you're giving them what they need, you're lucky if you can break even. It's the generosity of somebody like Central Bark who lets us use their facility and says, "Hey, come on, bring in the dogs, bring in your people, use our space." Thank goodness we're not paying to rent a facility to do these big events and meet and greets. Uh, those kind of things make a huge difference for us because every penny matters. So when somebody goes, "Oh, you're just in it for the money, you're just selling the puppies." No, no, we're not. That's not how it works at all. So those are the two big misconceptions is that we make a lot of money and that all we do is play.
Is that
So
why you're calling us
not,
from your solid gold helicopter because of all the money you've made from running an animal rescue?
that's it. That is definitely it. Yeah.
Um,
One thing at the door.
lastly,
Um,
before you have to go, um,
mhm.
you mentioned before that you have an adoption thing coming up pretty soon. So if you could
Yes, we do.
talk about that for just a few seconds, and then before you go, if you can give people information on where they can check out your website, your social media, that kind of stuff, and then where they can go if they have any questions and want to reach out about volunteering or anything else.
Yes, we are, jarspupsandstuff.org. That is our website. You can certainly find us there. Our adoption event, we do them at Central Bark, and we also work with Petco's, and do some adoption events there. And we are, sorry, I'm drawing a blank because I'm getting ready to walk out the door. I have to go get the child. Can I,
No, that's
I,
okay. I think the ladies here also have that information as
Yeah,
well.
I can bring up our
they
February
do, they do.
15th event.
And
It's the 15th is when we're there. Is that
Yeah,
the date?
we're hoping, and I
Okay.
don't think we've necessarily. I think it does need to be approved with some of the volunteers to make sure that that date works.
sure.
But I'm pretty sure we're gonna go with February 15th, a Sunday.
Well, we'll make sure to get all of the information out there. Gene, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I know you said that you have to go, and I don't want to keep you there, but I just want to say thank you for not only spending some time with us and talking just a little bit about the work that you guys do, but also for the work that you do and all of the volunteers and the people who give generously. I think that it's not overstating it to say that it is a labor of love, but there's so much work that goes into it, and it's work every day. It doesn't stop, and it's not just, you know, being licked to death by friendly dogs. There's a lot that goes into it, and so we can certainly talk at a later date about JR's pups and stuff in more depth and detail. But again, Gene, thank you so much for spending the time with us, and we will certainly be in touch later on.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank
Thanks,
you. Bye.
Take
Jane.
care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jane. Bye.
Yeah, just want to say I feel bad that we couldn't have her for longer, but I'm glad that she was able to join us for
Yeah,
the small part that she was able to join us
yeah, I think
for.
that it was good. Got a
Um,
lot out of her.
while we're on this sort of subject of misconceptions, what are some misconceptions that you guys want to share with the public about having a doggy daycare and maybe dispelling some of those rumors so that people who might have questions can say like, oh, that's not what I knew or that's not what I thought, and I'm glad that someone said something.
Sure. Um, there's a few things that come to my mind. One is that nap time is bad. So, some facilities will advertise, completely cage free and the dogs don't get nap time. Um, Usually, this leads to quite a bit of overstimulation in the dogs. They do need time to be by themselves and reset. Sometimes the way I explain it is imagine if you were to go on a 10-hour hike tomorrow. How would you feel on Wednesday?
I mean, I'd be exhausted even before Wednesday. I'm
Uh,
exhausted right now, and I didn't walk 10 miles.
Exactly. So chances are you would feel, you'd feel exhausted, you'd feel crabby, you'd be sore. Um, that's not how we want our dogs to feel after daycare.
Sure.
We want the dogs to be sure they're definitely you notice that they don't have so much pent up energy. But it's not good for them to be grumpy and sore and be in pain. Um so it's very important for the dogs to have a little bit of time to reset, have a snack. We actually give them frozen Kongs during their rest period sessions so that they can have something to stimulate their minds
Sure.
and something for them to work at. Um, and then I feel like another common misconception would be that every dog is meant for daycare. not all dogs are always meant for doggy daycare,
Sure.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Some dogs might play better in a group of 1 to 2 dogs, but then they're put into a group with 10 dogs, and that's just too overwhelming for them. There's a whole lot of other things that people can do with their dogs who if their dogs don't enjoy doggy daycare. There's, swimming, there's agility, there's all sorts of places that you can bring them to socialize that isn't doggy daycare. But we do also offer services for dogs who aren't um, playgroup friendly.
Sure.
So we do individual sessions with one-on-one sessions with our day and play and our stay and play dogs. So those guys are just not super comfortable in playgroup with the other dogs. So we make sure to give them multiple sessions throughout the day when they're boarding, and play games with them. We do fetch, we do enrichment puzzles, all sorts of things. I think
So,
Alyssa, any other you
so to be
think of?
clear, if a dog isn't necessarily adept at being with multiple dogs, you're not shutting the door on the possibility that they can still be part of Central Bark. But there's more to consider. There's more sort of steps to consider just to see if the dog can also fit in maybe being with just another dog or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, yeah. So we offer a day and play program. So, we wouldn't dismiss them from Central Park. We would just offer them a different route. That way they can hang out with us one on one and do training, agility, puzzles, cuddles, whatever the dog wants to
Sure.
do. Some dogs really just want to like sit on your lap and cuddle with you, and that's totally fine. So that way, they won't be with other dogs, but that's kind of what they prefer, and they still get that one on one session with us multiple times throughout the day.
I think the last common misconception I can think of would be um, some people feel like it's better to have these larger play groups. So they feel like their dog will just have that many more friends if they go into group with 30 or 40 dogs versus 10 to 15. And I always kind of compare it to a child daycare. Would you rather have your child going in a class size of 10 to 15 students or of 30 to 40 students? It's just we are expected to, clean up after their potty,
Sure.
do body checks on everybody. We have to monitor their behavior, their health, all sorts of things. So it's very nice when if since we're able to keep our playgroups smaller, we're just able to give everybody more individualized attention. And I also feel like it helps the dogs not get so overwhelmed. And it does help a lot of the dogs in our program. So we've had some dogs who have come to our facility who have came from another facility and their play groups are larger,
Sure.
and because of the fact that our groups are smaller here, they have more success over here.
Mm.
So
And it's nice we get to know them, more personable too.
So before we started this, as I was out in the call it the waiting area or the lobby, whatever you like, I spoke with a really nice lady who was here to get her son's dog, who was also very friendly, and she made some really nice comments about how the dog really loves it here and the staff here and just the time here is really well spent. So what's some more feedback that you get from puppy parents that maybe you want to share with the rest of the world?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of our feedback is positive.
Sure.
They seem to really like our staff, and they always say it seems like a clean environment. It smells good when they come in the door. It doesn't smell like we have 100 dogs.
Sure.
Their dogs seem to go home, tired but not exhausted. Their dogs look forward to coming here the next day. They say daycare is their favorite day of the week. Some of the dogs will even know that word. The owners will be like, "Oh, you want to go to school?" And they get all excited.
I
So
love that so
they
much.
do, fit it in with their day to day. So yeah, it's honestly pretty much all positive.
And then, you know, regardless of the line of work that you're in, you're always going to have hard days, right? Whether it's something that happened outside of work that makes the day hard, or um, maybe a long time dog client, has to be put down or passes away. What what helps you guys get through the really hard days here at Central Park?
The dogs. No bad days when you're surrounded by dogs. No, we have challenging days, but we have a really good team. We have a good environment. It really is fulfilling to work with dogs. So,
Can you guys talk about some of the staff here? And I know, and I apologize, I really wish that Alan was able to join us, and maybe perhaps down the road we can have a conversation with him. But can you talk about some of the staff here and the work that they do, and maybe some of the feedback that they have about working here?
yeah, most of our girls have been here for 4+ years. So we have a pretty good staff. They all know the dogs and love the dogs. Some of the positions we have is a dog handler. They are in charge of, being in group with the dogs, making sure they're playing correctly, not getting overstimulated, and working with them. So just basic recall, sit, stay down, positive reinforcement. Then we also have one of the jobs is called the runner, and they are in charge of safely letting the dogs in and out of group,
Hmm.
monitoring that. And then, me and Sophie are kind of like the face of the store. We're always up front greeting clients and answering phone calls, any questions anyone has.
Sure.
We also have 4 groomers. We are taking on new groom clients. So, we're always welcoming new people in.
I feel like there's never a dull day
No,
at Central Park.
Sure.
never.
When you have, all the dogs here and all of their different personalities, and it's very fast paced but and upbeat, but in a good way.
Yes.
I think the girls really enjoy what they do for the most part, and your day always goes by super quick.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's helpful.
Yeah. Agreed.
So when we took on this endeavor of featuring you guys as the business of the month for January, one of the things that you guys presented was having sort of like a fun puppy or dog picture video contest, which we posted on Facebook, and it's gotten a lot of responses. There's been a lot of great pictures and video on the original post. I just want to bring light to that. Um, the contest goes through the end of the month, through the 31st, the end of the day. And basically, you'll need to go to the original post, which is pinned on the City of New Berlin's Facebook page, and post a picture or video of your pet underneath. And the post or the picture that gets the most likes will get a $250 gift card to Central Bark. The only condition is that your dog, you have to be a citizen of the City of New Berlin. And unfortunately, it's not for anyone outside. You can still post your pet if you want to, but obviously, if you're not a New Berlin citizen, we can't, unfortunately, include you in the contest. So we want to let people know about that. Did you guys have anything to add as far as that is concerned?
No, I have been watching though, and there's been some really funny pictures.
Yeah, there really have been.
You can like more than just one, it's gonna just be in the end whoever has the most likes. So, um, yeah, it's fun, and I think everyone who goes and participates will have fun just looking through all the pictures and videos. Definitely a good thing to do if maybe you're having a bad day or something.
Yeah, there are some
They're
really,
cute.
really funny pictures underneath. And full disclosure, City of New Berlin, Central Park, they're not participating in the contest insofar as liking the photos. We're just facilitating the contest, and of course, at the end of the day, January 31st, Central Park will go through, and whoever has the most likes, they're going to be the winner. So again, go on the City of New Berlin's Facebook page. It's pinned to the top of our page, and you have to be a resident of the City of New Berlin in order to qualify. But otherwise, post some of those fun, adorable pictures of your animals. Can't get enough of those. Um, and Sorry, I sort of lost my train of thought here because I can't stop thinking about some of those funny pictures on the Facebook page. But I know that um, Gene mentioned before that there's an adoption thing that's in the works that sort of is as soon as the dates and everything is agreed upon, that that will be publicized. Is there anything right now looking to the future that Central Park is going to be doing that we can tell the folks about out there? As far as whether there's a donation drive or adoption drive or anything like that?
The current one that we have with
Yeah.
Giving Tree
I
and
get it.
JR's.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, we just got details on the February 15th event today. So I have a feeling that we'll likely be doing that, but I'm just not 110% sure. There is the Pet Expo coming up Saturday. I think it's Saturday, February 7th, but
Yeah.
I'm also not sure if we're participating in that or not yet. So, um,
Well, you guys have a great social media presence, what you guys post. So I'm certain of it that whatever it is that happens, you guys will post about it on the Facebook page, on your website. And again, you guys have a
absolutely.
great website. Can you let the people know the website and also the Facebook page so they can look them both up and maybe give you a follow or anything like that?
Yeah. So if you just go to centralbarknewberlin.com, and then our Facebook and Instagram handle is Central Bark New Berlin.
Yes.
I know that we could sit here for hours and talk about our pets and other people's pets and just animals in general. But as we wrap up here, I just wanted to see if there's one thing that listeners can take away from this conversation, whether it was anything Gene had to say or anything you guys have had to say or maybe have not said. What would you want it to be?
I think that if you have a dog and you're in any needs, whether it is socialization or training or grooming, definitely reach out to your nearest Central Bark. We are a franchise, so there are a lot of different Wisconsin locations. I think we have 13 or 14 in Wisconsin. Um, and they're all really, really great stores. Um, and then what I got from Gene is um, I love that Central Bark participates with JR's Pups and Stuff.
Yeah.
And we do some of those things to work with the community and make a difference in some of those aspects. And the only other thing also that really resonated with me from Gene was, you don't have to make this giant donation. Just taking an hour of your day to go walk a dog could absolutely mean the world to said dogs. So, um, that is my takeaways.
How about you, Alyssa?
Um,
I mean, it's okay if you don't have anything. I just wanted to give you the
right.
opportunity to share.
Um, yeah, what Megan said.
That's fair. I just want to go on the record here saying um, this is sort of an experimental thing. We've never recorded a podcast for the city of New Berlin, and certainly um, this is sort of a thing we wanted to try with the business of the month. They're the business of the month, and we wanted to shine a light on the things that they do, not only as an organization, but the way that they are ingrained in the community and the great way that they treat the animals here, and also the retention of their staff. That's a huge thing in today's working world is retention and just being content and happy with what you're doing in life. And it takes a lot of heart and soul to be to work with animals, whether you're a volunteer or you're paid staff. And I have to believe that this is a labor of love for everyone involved. So I just want to be clear that this is just a way to shine a light on this organization and the way that um, they're good people here, and they do good things in the community. And based on the way I see them working here, the dogs here are so happy, and they're well cared for, and they're well groomed and everything else. So um, this is sort of our way of shining a light on that, and also as we move forward here, there will be other opportunities to shine light on other organizations, but as the January Business of the Month, we wanted to give them their just due. So again, I want to thank JR's Pups-N-Stuff for taking the time to share their stories, Gene and the volunteers and their work, and putting their hearts out there today. Also with Alyssa and Megan and the staff here at Central Park New Berlin, and allowing me to be here and take up a lot of their time just to have this conversation and maybe share some thoughts that could be helpful. So if today's conversation resonated with you at all, there's lots of ways to get involved, from supporting the Giving Tree through the end of January, coming to City Hall and donating, or coming here to Central Park New Berlin and donating, to following the work that they do at the rescue, or here, following them on social media and seeing the cool, great pictures and videos that they post every single day. Volunteering, simply spreading the word. Those are great things. So ultimately, this is about community and stepping up for those who can't speak for themselves. And we're talking about animals here. So, and we want to show what's possible when people care, especially about animals. So again, thanks for listening. And before we go, can you guys give the address here in case people want to donate or come in and inquire, maybe have a visit?
Yeah, our address is 16700 West Victor Road in New Berlin.
Great. Follow them on Facebook. Take a look at their website. Come to City Hall. They've got a great table there set up with lots of cool swag and information about the services they offer here. On behalf of the City of New Berlin, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.